We've had a bit of a hiatus here at the Unfiltered Athlete, and it's been a busy few weeks of travelling. 3 semi-finals in 3 different continents over the last month, and one of those continents saw action from today's guest, Ben Fowler, where he punched his first individual ticket to the CrossFit Games from the Rebel Renegade Games in South Africa. So join myself and Ben here in episode 18 where we discuss all. But first, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as that helps get stories like Ben's out there more for you guys to hear. So we've had a big break actually. So we're back with the Unfiltered Athlete. This is episode 18, I think it is. I'll scratch that if it's not. But with me, Ben Fowler, Kiwi,
Yes.
Proud Kiwi, but wearing a Man United top today. So
For my brothers.
appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to me today. Obviously, I was there with you, as it were, along the way, not necessarily physically, but behind the mic, talking about your journey through the Rebel Renegade Games in South Africa, that you qualified for the games for your first time, punched your ticket, individual. We're going to get to that later. Obviously, first of all, like I said, really appreciate you coming and taking time to meet me. By the sounds of it, it was a good job that we rescheduled and got a bit of time to chat today. If you can't see, we are matching. Nice jean shorts and a few Birks. So I'm not too sure.
Need a Man United kit and you'll be sweet.
Yeah, who copied who? So basically, I just wanted to actually talk about your journey, essentially from the beginning to where you are now.
Yeah.
Was this always on the cards for you? Where did you start out? What was your childhood like, and what sports, if any, did you do growing up?
Sports wise, so I have 3 brothers, all of which I have 2 older, 1 younger. So we kind of all just did what the older brother did. Like Sam, he was like, sweet, I'm going to do football, do little league. So just all of us just did little league, right? So that's like I'm not sure if they're smaller teams or not, but like quarter of a pitch, we just run around, kick the ball. Parents loved it, loved coming out. Like Saturdays was always the sports day.
Yep.
And then kind of from there, I think he moved to rugby first. I'm trying to think timeline wise, but he moved to rugby. I was not having a good time in football. I was like, stuff this. So I moved over to rugby as well and just absolutely loved it. And then, so we just played rugby the whole time. I had a stepbrother as well who was playing rugby. We were all under the same club and just loved it. Like we had, perfect teams for backyard football as well. So we were just always in the backyard playing either football or rugby or, whatever it was. And so I played rugby up until under 15 or under 16 was my last year. So it's real young still. And I was enjoying it. Like I was playing like rep teams for Canterbury and stuff like that. But I don't know what it was, but I think it was during the off season, our rep coach was like, basically go to the gym, you're not very big sort of thing. He's like, do some strength and conditioning sort of stuff. So I basically just went and did that. I was like, sweet, I'm going to go to the gym. Went to the CrossFit gym. Funnily enough, my mum was signed up there. So you know how it is with the CrossFitters. Always in the car, we'd be driving to rugby and she'd be telling me and my mates about CrossFit and I did this movement, I did that movement. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know what a thruster is. And she's like, oh, it's like this. She's like demoing the movement with me and my mates. I'm like, bloody hell. Anyway, so eventually I joined the gym with her and because I couldn't drive at the time, she would drive me to the gym at 5:30 a.m. because that was just when she trained. And so I do that in the morning most days of the week, and then rugby training at night time. Kind of did that for a season. Then we had the off season, and I was like, talk to mum. I thought it would be a hard conversation because like rugby had kind of always been on this pedestal, especially being from New Zealand. Like it just is. Like people, Yeah,
I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, like, growing up in New Zealand, is there like pressure to be a rugby player because it's essentially the national sport? Do you feel like there's an expectation upon young males to be rugby players when you're in New Zealand, or is it?
I think not in my household, definitely not in my household. So both of my parents were like endurance athletes. So my dad, huge cyclist, gone to the Olympics, Commonwealth Games. So he was like, he wanted us to ride bikes basically. There was like no pressure from him or anything, but You know, like we go out for rides with him all the time. Mum was huge into like ultra marathons. She did I don't know if anyone knows, but the Kepler.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, just sounds disgusting, not up my alley at all. But so she was huge in that. She did bike riding as well.
Yeah.
So both amazing athletes in their own right. But neither of them rugby players, obviously. So I feel like there wasn't pressure. Like it's not like a classic New Zealand household where all the boys played rugby, and you know there was kind of this pressure. We'd be watching rugby at night time. Yeah, a little bit different dynamic. But there was no pressure. Like, you know, we could kind of do whatever we wanted. It wasn't actually a hard conversation when I said, hey, I'm going to stop playing rugby. I want to move over to CrossFit and try and, you know, give this one a go. It's just support all the time, just support.
Yeah, it's what you need though, isn't it, from your parents really? Like I always said that I was lucky with my parents that no matter what I wanted to go into, they seemed to just be like, okay, sweet, that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And like I said, I had a long journey myself with swimming and water polo. That was what I was going to ask actually. You said about Olympics and Commos. What Commos was it for your dad?
It was before I was born, so whatever.
How old are you now?
I'm 25 now.
Mate,
so but I do remember, like, I have cool memories of Dad still riding. So he did like the Southland tour, and like I remember like following him in the car. So we'd always, you know, Mum would take us in the car. We'd be 4 boys in the back. We'd be like following the race, and I have memories of that. But
what was his event? Was it a specific event?
No, they did everything. Yeah. They did everything back in the day. So he was good on like road cycling, road racing. So that was all Southland tour. And then like Olympics and stuff, they also do like the track stuff.
Yeah.
I'd have to have a look. Dad has like this he's the least, like, I never really knew how good he was until you meet people who knew him. And then they'll talk about, I'm like, what the hell? I was like, Dad never told me this. And because he's just got like, there's no trophies or anything. He's just got like a lunchbox just full of medals, completely full. And like, I don't know what they're all for. Like they're all just different races, different distances.
So a bit more nonchalant about his
so nonchalant. Like you wouldn't know. Like it's hard to get anything out of him if you want to like ask about it and stuff like that. So
maybe that's also the case. He doesn't want to put pressure on you guys and feel that you've got to fill the same shoes, as it were.
But also cycling, a lot of money in cycling.
Really?
So yep. So when Dad asked me, he's like, because Dad doesn't know about CrossFit, right? My mum does, my dad not so much, but he'll like ask about a comp. He's like, oh, how much are you going to make from this comp? That's the first thing. It's always money, and I'm like, Dad, I said, I'm in the wrong sport for money. I was like, it's not going to be the same as cycling. I promise you that. But
I didn't realize there's a lot of money in cycling. Is it just is it from sponsors and stuff?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm not sure exactly what I mean, obviously there's different levels and stuff, but like prize money wise, there's a good chunk of change in it.
Nice. It's probably like it's funny actually you say that about like medals and stuff, because I mean even things that I've got, like I was lucky enough to be on a great team back in 2014 for the commies, and we won gold. Yeah. My gold medal's in a drawer at home.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's what I mean. I think everyone thinks it's going to be this crazy thing. Like, you know, I thought Dad would have like just trophy cabinet and stuff, but they're in the garage in a box somewhere.
Yeah, so mine are up in the loft. Like, all my swimming stuff. It's so funny. I think it depends on the parents as well, whether they want to have a trophy shrine or something, you know. But
because we never really had that as kids either. Like we didn't have. I'm trying to think what we did with our trophies and things. I can't even remember. Like, yeah, I'm not even sure.
Mine used to sort of stay. I used to have a little when I was young, like sort of like, especially with swimming, like late before you know my teens. I used to have like a little cabinet that they used to sit on there. Yeah. And then once I like sort of like moved away from home, then they
kind of get demoted
it was
up into
like
the loft.
Yeah, it was like maybe something just to spur me on. If I look at them, they're like, right, I want to get more.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it was.
Yeah,
because my sister's a really good swimmer as well, so I think she had all hers somewhere too. And then obviously when you get older, you're like, I don't need that anymore. Like put them upstairs.
Suddenly,
need space for something else.
But it doesn't mean as much, sort of thing. Like, I don't know. There's always on to the next thing, and like I feel like that's partly like how it kind of felt making the games. To be honest, like I've been trying for, you know, however many years it's been now, since 2017, like trying to make the games. Finally it happens, and it's just right now I got a place at the games. Yeah. There was never a point where I kind of
with you like make it. At what point did you think, right, I can make it? What was the because I know you just missed out last year,
Yeah.
and then you made the move to the UAE. So again, we'll come to that as well. But at what point are you competing and then thinking, oh, actually, I could go here. I could make it. Was there ever like a point of like no return for you of like now's time?
I kind of just always thought I could, to be honest. Like, I mean, I started in 2017, and like, obviously, I wasn't making the games in 2017, but like, you know, I had confidence that I could. You know, I'm like, man, if I just stick at this, I'll be sweet, sort of thing. Like, you know, you see like how long had Matt Fraser been doing CrossFit for? How long had Rich Froning been doing CrossFit for? And it's like you look at these people, and it's not that long. You know, like they haven't been doing it for 20 years, and I'm like, oh, I've kind of missed my mark. You know, like. I just always had the belief. I was like, I'm just going to try, and you know, as long as I put in 100% effort and I feel like I'm working towards it and like progressing every year, then you know, I feel good about it. So it's just confidence the whole way through.
And when you just missed out from Torian last year, right?
Yeah.
What was your position? Was it fourth or?
I can't. No, not fourth. It was. I want to say 6th or 7th. I could be wrong though. I didn't look at it. I honestly no idea. I didn't look at it, but I know that it was somewhere there because I had to do the drug testing after, so it was somewhere there.
Did anyone pop that year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone did.
And was that person meant to go to the games?
No. Yeah, so they do. I'm not sure how many people it was, but so they test the people who are making the games, obviously, and then it's like.
Have to test
3 or so back.
Just in case they're backfill.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And I mean, look, I've spoke about this before. I've been drug tested loads of times. It's one of the things where playing water polo and under the structure we were under, you have to give an hour every day for months to years at a time of where you're going to be so that the...
Oh, so you're in like the drug testing pool.
Yeah.
Similar to like UFC.
Yeah, WADA, yeah. So it's up to you to put everything down. So if you're not where you said you were going to be, that's like a strike.
It counts as a... Sometimes it counts as a failed test.
It depends. Yeah, it depends if it's your first offence or not, as to whether you've missed a drug test before.
Yeah.
But it's daunting. It's a daunting experience, especially like, even when you know that you're clean, even when you know that you've been taking batch tested stuff, which we were given to by our national governing body. Yeah. I remember going, doing it. I'm thinking, oh, man, what if I got a tainted supplement? What if I picked up someone's bottle by accident or something like that? So it's a funny experience as well, because obviously you've got to be watched going to the tournament.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you the first time you got drug tested?
It was good actually. Like, I mean, obviously I just missed out on the games. I was pissed about that, but man, like we had loads of people in the we all had to wait in this room, and like I didn't know that it would be like that. I thought I'm just going to miss drug testing, so I'm not going to make the game, so it won't matter.
You're not allowed to touch anyone either.
We were more relaxed about that, and like we were all in a room. We weren't allowed to go out. We weren't allowed to touch other people or whatever.
That's what I meant,
But we were all in one room together. So this is at Torian.
Yeah.
And there was like Royce was there. He was great. So I just yarned to him the whole time. Peter was great. Talked to him a lot. Some of the girls like Daisy and stuff, like real talkative. So like we just talk shit the whole time.
Yeah.
Didn't feel too bad. Like it didn't feel like such a drag. And then like it's a little bit upsetting because like you don't make the games. And then I look forward, because we've got lots of friends in Australia, so I look forward to going out for dinner with them after and stuff. Finished the drug testing super late. Realised everyone had already gone out to dinner. Everyone was at home. Mum's like, oh, I got you some pizza from the thing. So I just threw the pizza in the microwave, had that, sat on my own. I was like, all right, this kind of sucks.
Yeah. So I'm guessing from that point then you're like, right, I need to do something. I need to change something to get myself to the games next year. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Were you already with QHP at that point, or was that a conversation that you had?
So I'd only been with Anthony from QHP for... must have been only a couple months, maybe slightly longer, but it wasn't long. So like it wasn't like, I'm not the type of person to not place well in a comp and immediately go, I'm changing my coach, I'm changing gyms, this and that. Like obviously there's things that can go wrong that are outside of that, like execution errors. But like I improved a lot from the year prior, and like I was more confident in myself as an athlete, and I think all of that's pretty much due to the guys at QHP. And
what made you go for QHP in the first place? Was it Jamie being a Kiwi?
No. So my brother was coached by Ant at the time, nice. And then I ended up staying with Ant in. So I came over for Dubai Fitness Champs, and I stayed with Ant then. Luke just kind of got us in contact, my brother.
That's when I interviewed you at Dubai. Was
Yes, yeah, it was. Yeah. Yes, that was the first time I met you. And it was sweet. I love staying with Anthony. He's got family and stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a real cool vibe. And then at the actual comp, he was like, you want a hand with this, you want a hand with that. He was just helping out a lot. I liked it. I thought it was great. Elliot as well was talking to me a lot in between events. Jamie obviously competing. I just like the vibe. Like I like the people. It seemed like a really cool crew, and I was like, I want to be part of this. So I basically messaged him maybe a week after the comp and said, hey, would you be willing to coach me? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So I had a little bit of a downtime over Christmas. I just did whatever I wanted. And then we started up, must have been like halfway through January or something, when I got home. So yeah, I just approached him. I liked what I saw when I stayed with him, and I was like, I can be a part of this. So
yeah, for sure. It seems like you guys have got a good little core of athletes now, especially based here in Abu Dhabi. So
it's perfect
great
now.
Just to push each other and train. I think that's the environment. I think one of the cool things that I've noticed recently is like one of the environments that clearly is making a difference is like something like the Krieger, the girls.
Yes,
because
they're all weapons now. Right?
All of them just seem to just come straight up, and that training environment, that competition, but friendly competition where you're still spurring each other on, just seems to work. And I obviously see that you are clearly friends with everyone that you're with there as well. There's no sort of animosity. I mean, I use Jack as a great example of. To me, it looked like he wanted to help you as much as possible, even though he was competing in Rebel as well.
Yeah, he was amazing all weekend. I was like, we had such a good week, like couple of weeks away. Like, I was a little nervous because I thought, man, if it's not going good for one of us and it is for the other, you get this weird dynamic. But man, we had such a blast the whole time. I think that made it so much easier to just compete. Like, I didn't have to stress about stuff. Like, regardless of how the workouts went, we had to, talk shit on the way home, and then we'd, watch movies and whatever back at the Airbnb, and we just, we had a great time. And like, it's like that with all the boys here. Like, the place I'm living at the moment, so in the villa, we've got Emily now, we've got Michael, Martha, like Harry, just a whole crew of guys who also train and stuff like that.
And Mike's made the games as well.
Yes, Michael made the games, which is, so we were watching that as well, actually, while we were doing Rebel, and like voice calling him and stuff. And
I was messaging him in between commentating, going, "Come on, mate, one more to go. You've got this."
So hyped for him and stuff, and like it's. You would think, we talk a lot of CrossFit at home. Marth normally puts the kibosh on that pretty quick though. She's like, no CrossFit after dinner. So we've got like, it's funny the way it goes. And, we're all just hyped for each other. And, we'll be supporting Emily this weekend for online semis and stuff like that. So
I was going to ask you, what do you think about the workouts? If you hadn't have made it, how would you fancy your chances? Because you do pretty damn good on the online stuff.
Yeah.
In the open and in the course and that. So would you have fancied your chances with these workouts that have come out? Yeah,
I'd say so. I like the workouts. I've done, tested a couple of them for the girls just to see, just pacing wise, if they had questions and things, at least I can kind of test it for them. I have to say yes, of course. I think I would make it. Like, I think any comp I do, I have that belief that maybe it's delusion. You're going to be delusional a little bit.
You've got to have confidence as well. But what I mean is, like, sometimes there's always a workout that comes up. You might do like this damage control, like for you in snatch, Rebel, the snatch.
Yeah.
So I think it's obviously that mindset about how you go about it. Obviously, there might be a workout that you've got to really pace to a specific point to get the best out of it. But I know that, especially when it comes to online stuff, that there's so much uncertainty because you never know how everyone else is done.
Like, anxiety around it's so much worse. Like,
but then you've got to wait for penalties to come and all that kind of stuff as well. So I guess really you've obviously got the business done, and now you can focus on the games, which is great. But it's also great that you're also testing workouts for your teammates, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, we're very different athletes, so it's not like, I can't do it and go, oh, I do it like this, or do it like I did it. Like, we're so different with strengths and stuff. But if they want to handle stuff, then I'm happy to kind of just play around with it if need be. But I think they'll both crush it. We've got Emily and Taylor both with QHP doing it. So
Taylor's over here as well.
Yep.
She went to touring as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So she was down there with Emily, and now they're both here at the moment.
Nice.
So I think they'll both crush it. I think they're good workouts for them. Yeah.
So were you based in New Zealand or Australia before you came here?
New Zealand.
New
So
Zealand, yeah.
born in Christchurch, stayed in Christchurch my whole life. I was still with my parents.
Yeah.
Yep, still living there. Coached in the gym that they own, so they still own the gym.
Nice.
Which is so we went to the games on a team.
You can plug it
for
by the
that
way,
gym.
if you want, the gym name if you
The
want. to plug
gym,
it.
the shed CrossFit Cell, the fittest gym in New Zealand since 20. I wonder what year our first year was that we changed. Must have been 2020, I would say.
Yeah.
But they're doing a great job down there. They have such a cool community. It's always like bittersweet when I go home because I'm like, man, I love the shed community. I love the people here, and it's so much fun. And that's why it was a hard decision to leave, because it's like, I would say, like, obviously family first and foremost, but like the shed as well. Just, I loved coaching there. I loved being a part of that, and I was like, man, I really don't want to leave.
Change is tough though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it
regardless of
always
it's the
is.
right thing or not, it's still something you've got to get
Yeah.
used to. So, do you so when you moved, did you actually move with a job, or did you come first then get a job?
No, I was like, I'm just going to go for 3 months and just compete.
Yeah.
I knew there was a few competitions I wanted to hit. I wanted to get some good training in, just hang out with the people here. No intention of getting a job.
Yeah.
And then like the money started getting shorter. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And then, I don't know. No, I talked to the manager at Vogue, and I was real interested in like working there. I love like being a part of the community with all the members and stuff. Like I feel like it's a little bit weird working at a gym when I don't know any of the members.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel a lot more part of the furniture when I'm coaching there or
Yeah.
when I have a job there. So I was like, I called Anastasia. I was like, hey, would you be interested in moving here? And I was like, you could get a coaching job too if you wanted to. And yeah.
So she didn't come out with you for the 3
No.
months?
No. And then, so she came over, and, we haven't really looked back since.
So I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I've been here 11 years now, so
yeah, I feel like,
it's just one of them things where when you get into a routine here and you see what the possibilities are and the opportunities, it's sort of like, it's
Yeah.
second. And especially myself being from the UK, the UK is up shit creek at the moment. It's not, I wouldn't want to live there at the moment, that's for sure. So it's,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's funny, like you get stick off people going, oh, you're dodging tax and whatnot, like to live here. And I'm like, you know what, honestly, I really wasn't making enough money before I moved here to be dodging tax. It's not.
Yeah,
I didn't move here for that reason, that's for sure. I literally just moved here for the opportunity. I hadn't even considered coming here on a holiday.
Yeah.
It wasn't on my bucket list, and then my ex-girlfriend at the time got a job for Emirates.
Yeah.
And then I followed her
You're
out
like,
here.
sweet,
'cause
yeah.
I didn't want to do
Long distance, yeah.
So I guess that's probably the same for
Yeah.
you, really, asking your missus to come out as well.
Yeah.
But, so,
well, she'll be happy. She's a lot closer to home. All her family's in Mallorca.
oh, right.
So
okay.
they'll be happy. We're a lot closer, and
Interesting.
like I'd love to go out there a
Mallorca's
lot
got
more as well.
A good setup for training
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
a
they're
lot of
cool
athletes,
too.
A lot of athletes
Yep.
are there. 'Cause I was
From
speaking to,
C23 there.
Yeah, I was speaking to John Singleton in Madrid a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was asking him, like, where are you still based? He's like, yeah. And
Yep.
obviously they've got plenty of athletes.
Very
and they
cool
do
crew there
training
too.
camps there and training camps in Tenerife
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, are you going to do any training camps before the games, or are you literally just going to be here?
This is it. Yeah. This
Yeah.
is my training camp. Yeah. I mean, it's the best environment. I
Yeah.
think. I'm happy with. I wouldn't want to change anything. I try not to change
Yeah.
much. Like I just feel like my priorities are pretty in order at the moment. Like.
If you're comfortable, you're comfortable, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, a lot of athletes will be, I don't want to work leading up to the games. I want to be able to just solely focus on training. But man, like, coaching for me is such a good escape from
Yeah.
training. Like, if I'm having a terrible day, which, some training sessions just don't go your way, like I'll go and coach for 2 hours or 3 hours, and it's the best 3 hours of my day. You get to talk to the members, and I don't know, like weirdly it takes my mind off CrossFit or the competition side of CrossFit, like I'm not thinking about myself at all for 3 hours. So it's like,
So yeah, the mindset's different. Isn't it? You're trying to help people then, and obviously you're watching for different things as to what you would do with your own training. So I mean, I get that for
absolutely.
sure. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
So you've moved over. You're training here. What was the why the decision to go for Rebel and not the likes of like Far East or any other ones?
yeah. I
'Cause
talked about this.
Did you qualify for?
No, so the intention was, I guess I qualified for Syndicate, but that was through quarters, so like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I did the qualifier. So the intention was to do French. Like we were all, all the boys were going to go to French. We were going to have a great time in Paris, and it was this big plan. Long story short, none of us ended up going to France. For me, I talked about it a little bit before, but I just had a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll sign up. I'll see what the workouts are, and we'll play it, by ear, depending on what that is.
Yep.
I'm not sure what number workout it was, but they announced a 1RM overhead squat and a 1RM bench press. And I was like, I'm getting less than 60 kilos on both of those.
It was that bad?
It was that bad, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, Ant was like, just lift with me, we'll see how the shoulder goes. So I did a jerk at 60 kilos, shoulder just buckled, like so much pain down my arm, and I was like, I said I'm not doing French, so that's for sure. So I basically just, Jack was like, I'm going to Africa if you want to come with me. He was like, I'd love you to come, we can compete together, stay together, and it was a pretty easy sell, to be honest. I was like, sweet, I'll sign up for the qualifiers. The qualifiers were actually way later than French too, so it gave me a chance to get the shoulder into a usable state, I guess I would say. So I just did it that way. I was like, right, what's the latest qualifier I could do? Perfect. Africa, I get to go with Jack. And I'm glad I did now. Obviously getting the games ticket, but also just being able to go with Jack was awesome too. Like but like going somewhere on my own, I just don't think I'd have that same enjoyment.
So when you qualify for Rebel and you know that you're going, how often are you checking the leaderboard or trying to see who's qualified and who's going before you go? Like, are you ever bothered about who else is going to be there? Or is it solely just like, no, I'm just focused on myself and it's all about what I can do?
I don't, especially for this one, I didn't really look at the leaderboard at all because I knew I had the shoulder injury, and I was like, you know what, it's just going to piss me off if I look at the leaderboard, so I'll stay away from it. I didn't even know that there was a separate leaderboard for international.
Yeah, because I was looking at that, like trying to see who was going to, because there were a lot of people that qualified that didn't end up going.
Yeah, so I had no idea.
Yeah, so like, I mean, Sven Geens was one of them, and obviously he had a meltdown in Far East.
Yeah.
I still feel so bad. Like,
it was
tough. It was tough to commentate.
Tough to watch.
And tough to watch, yeah, for sure. And I felt bad for him because he was so good all weekend, and then all of a sudden it was just like
blew up. Yeah.
But he'd also qualified for French. Didn't go there. He'd also qualified for.
So he must have done all the qualifiers in.
And that's something I mean, obviously there's the online whether he's going to do him this weekend, but he pulled out a French, pulled out a Rebel, and then went to Madrid, and obviously it didn't work out for him in Madrid either.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of hope he does qualify.
I know. Yeah. At this point, it's
I was going to ask you actually, like, what do you think of the qualifying process? Did you think, like, because I was looking at it thinking, I think I would prefer it if there was more spots available at every semi-final, so like 3 at Far East, 3 at Rebel, and not because I think that it's just it's going to go to someone from that region, but I just think that more international athletes will travel, which will then potentially get more eyes and more focus on that region as well, which is good.
Yeah.
But to have 7 from online when
the most from any other one was 3.
Yeah, and also from the online, I'm also then so everyone that goes to these competitions and qualifies, you're drug tested. How do you drug test the 7 that qualify?
That's right. Yeah.
And are they drug tested there and then, like you would be at a comp, or is it like a week later?
They just test them at the games, and it's like.
And that's what I'm like. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like it should
it's a little interesting.
It should be the same as it was before in the past, where it's one spot. It's like it is that last chance, and then spread the other spots out around.
Yeah, I agree.
The other comps, because again, I think it'd be more focused. More people would be interested in watching if like more and more names travel. Yeah, I think it's then a fair standard. Like, is if you're from Asia, or you're from Africa or South America, nothing's stopping you trying to qualify for other regions as well. So people want to travel, they want to travel. So I'd feel like if someone's traveling from the US all the way to Asia or Australia, anyone that's in that region should have a better chance just based on the fact that they don't have to travel.
That they're showing up in person too. Yeah.
So I think that I'd like to see that. I think it'd be more exciting, and obviously with myself luckily I've been at Korea, at Rebel, at Madrid, I've seen the difference in how they run, the athletes that are there, and there's some amazing support there. There's like each region has their own bubble, and it's
interesting, how you get like regions who don't. So like the US always, they have the games and stuff, right? But when you go to like Asia and Africa and stuff, man, the people get behind it because they don't get big comps all the time. So you get a lot more supporters there.
And I think that if you had like, you know, big names travel. I mean, like, look, let's take the French, for example. Jason Hopper gets a last-minute invite.
Yeah.
Goes, you know, it actually caused a bit of like banter.
Bit of friction.
Banter
Yeah.
between the stadium. They're booing here and then they're cheering for
Yeah.
me. It's like, what, do you want me to win? Do you not want me
Yeah.
to win? But it's, you know, they're obviously excited to see you know, the fittest man on the planet.
Because they don't get to see Jason compete because he just competes in the US. So like for him to go over, like, man, like I know for us when way back in, I think it was 2019 maybe, when Rich came over to do the Peers Torian, so it wasn't a semi-final, but it was just an event, so like Peers. Man, everyone was so hyped to see Rich Froning. You know, like having Froning come down and compete, everyone was just, you know, the stadiums were full.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think you'd get a lot more of that if you had more spaces at different in-person ones.
I think that as well. I think it's only going to grow the sport. And I mean, because I mean, look, I know Korea has over 300 affiliates or something like that. So crazy.
Yeah.
And they love the sport. They treat the Far East like it's their own games because they know that sometimes they're probably not going to get someone going, or you know, if they do go, are they even going to be able to afford to even fly there?
Yeah,
it's not like their main sport. Same with South Africa. You've been there. Like, I actually thought it was a little bit frustrating for me in Africa because the way that it was set up, obviously we had the stands either side, but there was actually quite a lot of people there because people were standing behind.
More people up top,
People up top. You couldn't see that they were there.
Yeah.
So they're making noise, but on the cameras,
you can't see on the side.
You never saw that there was actually like quite a big crowd there. And I think if you'd have taken all those people from the end and the top and put them in the stands would have been full. You know. And then same with Madrid, the Spanish, man, they love it. They absolutely get behind their athletes, whether they're in the third heat or the first heat. Like they really want their Spanish athletes to do well. Yeah. And it created a really cool atmosphere.
Yeah,
it was an amazing finish at the end of Madrid with Callum winning the last event.
I was shocked.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I feel really bad for Koski because it was so so close to him. But I hope he is doing the online one because
he's good at online too.
He's so good at online. So I really hope he's going to do it, and I hope that Koski goes because someone like him is just like a stalwart in CrossFit.
I know. He's one of those.
He's such a good
like
advocate
anchor
for it.
names who you just you just expect him to be there every time.
He's like, for me, he's so good across the board. Like he's still pretty damn strong. But his swimming's great, his running's decent, his engine's good, like his gymnastic grip capacity is great. Like he's a good athlete to have there. I think, and again, another good representation from the Europe region as well. So I hope he does make it. So let's talk about Rebel. What were your thoughts on the fact that you had 9 events total? Was that a bit daunting to you, knowing that you'd had a bit of a shoulder injury? And you were worried, is this going to be a bit too much volume for me over the weekend? Or is it like, no, I've got more of an opportunity now to prove myself and go?
My initial thought was like, at least I can botch the snatch and still make up points everywhere else. I thought the more events, the less the 1 RM snatch matters. That was kind of the thought process. And I always think more events is better, obviously to a certain extent, but like, if you have more events and the program's well curated, like, you're testing a whole bunch of different stuff, it's always going to be a better test. And you can kind of trust that the fittest person's going to get there. So I liked it. I was like, more events the better, more chance to kind of practice the things I've been practice the mindset things, the execution things. And that was, it didn't bother me at all.
Which was your favourite event of that weekend?
Probably the pirouettes, because I got into a bit of a race with Ruan. It was probably...
You got called back for a no rep there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
It was hand on the line. It wasn't.
So I always handstand walk that way, right? Always thumbs forward. It's the best way to do it. And the thumb was on the line, and I was like, shit. That was actually first no rep of the weekend too.
A fair play to them, and they called it as well, because it's so...
I knew it too. I knew it as well, and I was like, fuck.
Yes, I remember commentating on that. Oh no, he's been called back.
And
he's still caught up a little bit, but then again, it's the same again, because obviously the South Africans got behind Ruan in that as well. Got a bit of atmosphere, which was good. I wanted to ask you, what did you think of the 3-2-1, the 3 minutes double unders, the 2 minutes ring muscle ups, and the 1 minute front squats?
I like them, but I don't think they should have been 50 pointers. Like, I think if it's worth testing, why not make it 100 points? Like, what makes the muscle ups less significant than the 1 RM snatch? I think it should just always be 100 points.
So you wanted it 100 points as in all your scores accumulated together, or 100 points, 100 points, 100 points?
Either way, either all accumulated for 100 points or 100 points, 100 points, 100 points. Like, in my eyes, if it's worth testing, then it's worth the same amount as something else like obviously some events are more effort than other events.
Yeah.
But then if you're doing them off effort, everything would be different. You know, like the machine workout was way harder than the pirouette workout, but they're the same points.
That was a long slog.
You know,
I thought it was really cool though, the fact that everyone was
Yes,
on the floor.
yeah,
That was
very,
pretty
and
cool.
you could see.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought it would be great, but actually, for the first time ever, I was like, hearing like Tiana, the MC, talking and seeing the screen. It just, I don't know what it was, like claustrophobia or whatever, but it felt horrible.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, the first time ever, I just trying to blank everything out. I was like, I don't know what it was. Normally, like, I like listening to the MC because I can hear where other people are. I can, more info the better.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not looking at anything. I was so just focused on my screen, and hated it. Hated the back half of that event. Like, it was just...
It's a long one for sure.
Yeah.
So obviously the snatch was a damage control workout for you, and you did pretty well in terms of managing that damage. When you go into a work like that and you know that there are going to be people snatching 140, 135, you've snatched 130 before, I think, as well.
128.
Yeah, give or take.
There or thereabouts.
Yeah. So when you're going into an event like that, what's the mindset in terms of what the number is that you start out with, and how do you then make your jumps with each attempt?
So we were like, sweet, we're just going to have an opening lift. That's all that matters. Do the opening lift, and then you can just do whatever you want from there, right? Like, the good news was I had a decent points lead going into it, so I could just relax.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, as long as I don't absolutely botch this and hit like 70% of my 1RM, I'm going to be fine. So for me, most of it was just hit what I want, and then again, Jack was there on the side. He's like, oh, bro, he's like, throw this on the bar, and I was like, all right, whatever. And the judge at one point was like, oh, who's this guy? And I was like, he's my coach. I was like, of course. But he was just like gassing me up. He's like, oh, Ben, that one looked amazing. He's like, throw this on the bar. And I was like, all right. And afterwards, he's like, dude, your shoulder looked fucked. And I was like, oh, I thought you said it looked good. So, well, yeah, I'm going to tell you that at the time. So I just did whatever he said, and it worked. Nice. I just threw on whatever, and
you hit 123 in the end, was it?
Yeah.
So what I noticed as well was it seemed like I don't know if you were noticing what Ruan got, because obviously he was your closest.
I had no idea.
He was your closest competitor. I think he'd hit like 120 or 121 or 122, and then you went 123 and hit it, and he missed like one of his last attempts. So I don't know what was on there. And I was like, I didn't know if you'd been watching. Like, it's done 122. I'm going to go 123.
Unless Jack was. There's a very good chance Jack knew what was going on.
It made sense because I was like, 123 is a bit of a random number. Then I saw Ruan had hit like, it must have been like 121 or 122. And I was like, that must be why. And then he missed it. I think he may have went for like 125 or something and missed it.
Okay.
Because I know I was speaking to someone before that, and I know that Ruan is capable of doing like a high hang 125 snatch,
but from the ground,
not from the ground. From the ground's a bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, that was I think you obviously went into the last event with more than 100 points lead.
Yeah,
so you kind of when you go into when you know that you've essentially made the games before you've even done the last event, what's the mindset going into that event? Would you still like, I still want to utilize it as a chance to practice what the event's going to be, or is it and then do you feel like you compete better because there isn't any pressure?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, that whole last day was so much fun because I could just relax. I was like, I've made the games. I'm like, I've done what I wanted to do. I just have to not screw up. They were good events for me too.
Yeah.
So I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna execute the game plan. So the pirouette one, I'd messed it up in training and just like stopped because I'd just gone out way too hot.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was more like proving to myself, hey, you can hold this pace, you're fit enough to do this. So again, that for me was just execute well on the handstand stuff. And it was like, I was talking to him a bit about the strategy. We were actually joking a bit back and forth, because Jack's like, dude, if you have more than 100 points, you have to just try and go unbroken.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right, maybe I will. But then Ant goes, no, he's like, I want you to try and execute well on the lunges, because I've had problems in the past just with like stability on the lunges, especially with the shoulder. And so he's like, no, I want you to try and execute well on the overhead lunges. And so I was kind of like humming and hawing. I was like, I'll get up there, I'll see how it feels. And I was going to go for unbroken, and then I got a no rep.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll just jump off. I was like, I'll make
what was the
happy.
break? What was the number?
I think I got like 24 or something.
Oh, so you went 24 unbroken or 23?
And then 6, yeah.
Oh,
Which was like, I probably would have done, if I was like planning on breaking, I probably would have done a 20 and 10.
Yeah.
Just so that the kettlebell snatch felt good.
What did you get in the no rep for? Lack of
Just
extension?
pushing away. Pushing away at the top. Just trying to go too fast, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I went, I think, 16 unbroken on the snatch, and then 4, and then straight into the lunges.
Yeah, nice.
So I was happy with that. Like, I executed it well.
How did you find the snatches? Double
Good.
cover?
I thought they were going to be real hard, especially like, in the past we've been able to use grips for the kettlebells, and it makes it so much nicer. The awkward thing with the kettlebells is they spin so much in your hand. Like, as you turn it over, it spins the whole way around. Whereas like dumbbells don't do that. The barbell spins, so you stay connected to the barbell, obviously. So like that's the awkward bit, especially in your hands. But it felt fine. I wasn't too concerned about them, to be honest.
I was like, what was your experience of Rebel? Because I think for me, obviously I've been there 2 years in a row now, and I can never give them enough credit. Like, I think they're such great people that run the event anyway. They're super like passionate about CrossFit and about the sport and about building it up in that region. I don't think they never get the credit that they deserve. They never get the focus that they deserve from from other countries, as it were. And I think sometimes people don't fully watch the actual production that they put on. Yeah. And obviously, from my point of view as a commentator, the 3 that I've done, like by far, Rebel, they've got such a professional production behind it. Like, the guys in the back are all over it. Like I've got comms with them, so if I want them to change, or if I say, oh, so and so's in this lane, then they'll pick up on it and try and change the camera. Yeah, nice. They're really on it. They just want to do a good production all the time. And I think it's a shame that they don't get the views that they deserve, really. And I don't know if that's just because people are, oh, it's Africa, I don't want to watch it. But
I would assume it's the athletes. Like,
that's what I mean. But there was good athletes there, So that's why for me, I'm like, oh, it's a shame that. That's why I also think if they had 3 spots, more people would travel. And more people would then want to watch. Yeah. But again, I also see their point of view of how we want to build the African region, as it were. So I mean, I get it. It's a hard one because you're going to please some people and disappoint others, and then vice versa, depending on what the decision is. But I can never give Rebel enough, and I know that there is a lot of professionalism, even with their judging team and stuff. You have to remember, with judges, there's always going to be human error. And I think that. I don't know, you said that you pretty much got 1 no rep all weekend, whether that's just down to you, having good execution, as it were. I think that they were giving no reps for things that were no reps, and obviously other things get...
Everyone's like that though, eh? Like everyone after the fact, like, oh, I shouldn't have been a no rep, blah, blah, blah.
But even that though, I think that even their appeals process, people are able to appeal things, but their appeal process, they had so many people. Obviously, I got to go backstage quite a lot and see... you've got 3-4 people around the computer watching these things, like going over the appeals and stuff to make sure that what was done was right, and how can they, reimburse athletes, as it were, if they were, judged wrong. Again, I'm not too sure what the briefing was for the athletes as to how the appeal system works, but I did think that it just seemed like there was a lot of appeals all the time, and I think sometimes there needs to be. I feel like there's more appeals nowadays than
there is
than before.
I wonder why that is actually, because I feel like the judging's better and better every year. Like I was blown away with the judging. My judges were amazing, and I think the whole staff as a whole, like everyone was so nice. The corral people were great. They're always down to have a chat. The the athlete control and stuff, always super lovely. I tried to chat to all of them as much as I could. But I wonder what it is that makes people appeal a lot more nowadays. Because like I don't seem to run into really any problems at all. I don't know if it's just luck, or what it might be. But
I don't know if it's maybe it's to do with maybe there's more camera angles and stuff nowadays. So they know that there might be more evidence as to show, oh, that should have been a rep for that. But I also don't know whether it's you're allowed to appeal for a no rep or you're allowed to appeal for bad judgment. I'm not too sure what the
yes, I think different rules for different semis, because some semis are like, oh, you can't appeal a judge's decision, but then
and so you're not allowed to appeal someone else. That someone else has done something,
which is good, because you can't have athletes showing up bloody snitching on each other every event, or it's just a disaster.
No, for sure. So right, so now qualify for the games. I don't want to say the hard work's done, but essentially you've done the hard work to get there. Now, what's the process for you leading up to the games? When are you going to travel over? Like, are you going to go over with a good amount of time beforehand, get over the jet lag, and what's the next training block looking like for you? And will you do any mini games prep simulation, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I think it would depend on if they announce events beforehand. Like if they don't announce events, then it's just training. We do a lot of weird stuff. Like we'll do outdoor running. I mean, as much as you can here in the UAE.
I feel like that's a benefit to you, though. If you train and get used to the heat here, then when you go there,
but I think there's a certain level, like
but California will be hot at some time, at a certain point. So
it's not going to be 40 degrees though.
That's what
so
I mean.
like
if you can get used to 40 degrees and you go and run in 30 degrees, then
I've been trying to go a little earlier to the track, and that seems to be right. They have good indoor tracks too, but again, then you're not getting used to like heat at all. I guess it's more of a question for Ant, but most of it's kind of like he's talked about it before, like just sticking to our guns and just drilling CrossFit. If I can be good at CrossFit, I'll be fine when I get to the games. Obviously, if there's weird stuff that comes up, let's say I'm terrible on a yoke, of course we're going to drill the yoke more, because it's going to show up at the games, or it has a better chance of showing up at the games than a regional. So just like getting our hands on odd object stuff, practicing some weird stuff, maybe practicing more transitional stuff. So like we did a bit of this going into semis, instead of just working out on the spot, like actually transitioning transitioning across the floor. But no, I think he's got it pretty much dialed in. He knows what's going on. If there's things that need to work on, we'll do that. If they announce events, we'll probably do them in some capacity. But I don't think we'll hit like a full training, like a full weekend of like games simulation. So yeah.
Is there anything that you want to see come up at the games? Not whether you'd be good at it, but something you just think, oh, that'd be so cool. I'd love to do that.
Like any like off-site events, I think those are kind of the most exciting ones. Whether we do like a trail run at the ranch or something like that, like I don't know, they always just seem cool because it's like you can only do this there. Trying to think, any like past games of me, I'd love to do like a Murph. A Murph would be awesome.
Like get your hands on a pig or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we did the pig back in when we went as a team. Didn't mind that at all. Something like that. Yeah, just things that you don't really get to do at other comps. I feel like that's kind of the appeal. And like the outdoor events. I love the outdoor events. I think don't mind swimming. Don't mind to swim. I'm not the best, but like I don't mind it.
I keep saying to Elliot that I'll come over and
you got to come and help us.
Come and do some
before we
swimming,
go. Me and Michael.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sort us out.
100%, I would. I mean, I sort of expect like you Kiwis to be half decent in the water.
People are like, "Oh, you guys are like Australians, right?" And I'm like, "No, like I'll swim in the sea, but I'm not going fast. Like I can swim."
That's but it's. I mean, I know Michael's masters, but there's you, Michael, and Bailey. Kiwis representing him, right?
There'll be more. I haven't had a look at all the Masters leaderboards, but we've always got a whole lot of Masters going back from New Zealand. Like you show up at the games and you do the ceremony, and you just there's a whole lot of Kiwis there actually. We got teams as well, Kiwi teams. So
do you have a lot of communication with any, like someone like Bailey Martin, for example? Do you talk to him at all, or?
Well, Bailey used to train at our gym, so me and him have been really good mates for a while. I always joke with him. He was our water boy when we went to the games as a team. He's carrying around the Gatorades all weekend. But like we get along really well, so I message him quite often, and like super happy that we could kind of find a way to get both of us at the same time. Like it would have been awesome to both qualify out of the same semi. But getting to go to the games with him is huge for me. Like I'm very excited about that.
Do you think his brother will qualify for Riley?
Not this year. I think he can for sure. Like he's getting so much better every year. But
he's a strong boy. He was really impressive to watch in South Korea for sure. I think his issue though is that he'll always have, not always, but like this year at least, he's going to have one event that just doesn't go great because it's a longer, more endurance event. And I think in a field that's as stacked as like online semis or even like the Asian field and things like that, you can't have one terrible event. And so until he gets that number up, then
you know, I think it's just a matter of time until he does.
So growing up, obviously, when you started getting into CrossFit, they don't have to be, an idol or anything, but who did you watch? Who was the person that you were watching at the CrossFit Games thinking, man, that guy is good, or that girl is good, like, that you just like, I want to emulate what they do?
I'll circle back to that, but Michael was always, and it's kind of funny now that I live with him, but Michael Mackara was always like, because he was the best in New Zealand, him and Luke Fiesel at the time.
Yeah.
And so we competed against each other in New Zealand Nationals, and like, obviously I had no chance of beating him, but like watching him compete and stuff like that, he was a huge idol of mine, just a Kiwi boy.
Yeah.
And I was always rooting for him. I was like excited to compete against him and things like that. So I think just from a more personal level, someone like that who you actually know makes, I'd say for him, or for me, he was someone I looked up to a lot growing up, or at least getting into the space. But then on a games level, like I just watched the 2015 and 2016 games documentaries just on repeat all the time. So like standouts for me, like Ben Smith, he was always a real interesting one.
Yeah.
Just like how like he was somewhat self-taught. All those videos of him just lifting in front of the fridge. Trying to think, obviously Rich and Matt, like, I kind of grew up, all my early years of my CrossFit was just Matt winning the game, so it's hard not to just be like, oh, I'll just be like Matt, like you just instantly, someone you were kind of drawn to. Fikowski as well, he's someone who, for me, and even recently he's been putting up some good content about like mindset stuff, and I always find that real interesting from someone who seemed so calculated, like he kind of lets you in his head a little bit.
The professor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's such a lovely guy as well. Like really, really friendly. Gives people time.
Yeah.
Doesn't sort of push people away, as it were.
Yeah.
Had many a conversation with him. I've done many swim workouts and stuff with him.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Here and that.
Yeah,
he's a really
yeah.
cool guy. And it's just it's so cool to see the way that he approaches workouts.
Yeah.
Never afraid to do something. I always remember the one time at Dubai, there was a workout with rope climbs, and he had like sleeves on here.
Yeah.
Like,
what the hell are you doing? Yeah.
And he literally was like, what? And then he went to the rope climb, he'd get to the top of the rope climb and clamp there and slide down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he wouldn't use his hands, he would put his arms and
clamp in between
and he'd slide down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was like so cool, because I was like, it was just a different way of not, really working the forearm stimulus, as it were.
What I found interesting about him is that, I'm not going to say against all odds, it's not like he was like at a huge disadvantage, but like his height at the time was like, dude, you're not going to be able to keep up on this, or, and then like the recent example, we just did Gretel at Rebel, so obviously I'm like looking up to see if there's athletes who's done it. Brent Fikowski had the fastest time. I'm like, dude, how was someone who's, whatever he is, 6 foot something, got the fastest time? And like I watched the video and I'm like,
as well. Like,
you're not, you just wouldn't expect it, sort of thing, and he just finds a way. And I find that real interesting, or inspiring, if you will, that he finds a way and he'll figure it out. I think the other one would have been Jamie, for sure. Like seeing Jamie kind of burst onto the scene, you're like, wait, because obviously she didn't live in New Zealand. I was like, wait, who's this New Zealand chick? I was like,
she won the Open, the one.
Yeah.
Well. It's like,
you see it, you're like, what the hell's going on? And then like from then you're just like always just on the bandwagon sort of thing. I'm like, right,
she's always
full on
she's
Jamie
always
fan
good to watch, for sure.
And then you meet her in person, it's like, dude, she's the most like personable athlete that I've met, like just so down to earth and stuff. And you're like, I don't know, it's not like you imagine people to be super different, but you definitely, I don't know what it is, you just kind of like,
she's just down to earth.
Yeah,
She's friendly.
She's just sweet. Just happy to hang out, talk some shit.
And I'm happy for her and Elliot as well. Obviously with a little one.
On the way.
It's always funny when you see two athletes come together, and then all of a sudden they've got a baby on the way. I'm always like, I wonder what they'd be good at. Like, how good at sport are they going to be?
What sort of beast are they cooking up in
there?
there?
The same with Mia and Phil Hesketh.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 kids, and I'm always like, I wonder if they're going to be able to snatch or lift
be
like
athletes
me.
or whatever.
It's always a funny one, and obviously it's how they bring their kids up and stuff. But I always think that the genetics that these kids must have is just great. I think about my parents, and my dad was a footballer, and my mum used to swim and play squash and stuff like that, but nothing like stand out in terms of, like, my sister went to nationals for swimming. I was obviously national level for and
Yeah,
international for water polo, but none of my parents are like really good swimmers. So I'm
Yeah.
sort of like,
Where did it come from, sort of thing,
So I
eh?
think it just depends on what
Yeah.
what you're exposed to when you're younger, for sure. So obviously, I mean, the games is going to come and go at some point. Time just seems to be flying by at the moment. Yeah, click of the fingers and it'll be gone. Once obviously you go into the games, what I know that you're confident, but have you got anything in mind in terms of a position that you want to finish, or something that you would be happy with or disappointed with, or any expectations?
No, I think that's the best thing about being a rookie is that you don't have to have the expectations. Like, obviously, I'm going to show up. I'm going to try to get on the podium. Like, obviously, that's why would I show up if I'm not going to try? But it's like I can't be disappointed if I go out there and number one is like, again, super cliche, but as long as I'm out there trying my best and I execute well, I can't really be disappointed with placings. Like, I can still look at the leaderboard and go, damn, I wish I placed higher, or damn, I thought I'd be higher on this. But I find disappointment like that doesn't last very long. Like, it's a real spur of the moment. You're like, oh, this is annoying. And then you look back and you're like, oh, I tried my best, so-and-so was just fitter.
Yeah.
And like, you can use it as fuel for the next year and stuff. And it's like, sweet, I just got to get fitter. I just got to get better at this. And, I don't really have a number in mind. Like, obviously the higher up the number, the better, the better it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, oh, if I'm not top 20, I'm going to be disappointed. That's just not the case at all. I think for my rookie year, I just want to go out and try and, make a bit of a name for myself, just execute well on workouts I know I can. And if there's things that pop up that I struggle with, then at least I know I've got to work on these. And then when I come back next year, they won't be weaknesses, and then I'll be, striving for a kind of podium top 10.
What do you think has been your biggest weakness that you've had to work on, and is it a weakness still?
I'd say it's still definitely a weakness, just like 1RM strength.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come easy to me. Like, I'll do a full block on like squatting and stuff, and then just it doesn't go up. Yeah. But it's not all 1RMs. It's like certain lifts and things just don't seem to want to go up. But like I've changed my mindset on those a lot now. Like, I don't have to have the highest 1RM in every single lift sort of thing. Like, some stuff's just not going to go well.
Yeah.
And I can work on them and, get improvements here and there. I'm not saying it's not worth working on, but it's not really worth stressing over either, Like, I'd say my biggest improvement would have been my running over the last few years. Like, when I started with Ant, I just... I could run all right, but I just fatigued so quickly. There was no real endurance in there. Whereas now, I love running. Like, it's just changed my mindset on it completely. Like, I look forwards to running sessions. I feel like I'm improving on it. And I feel like the work I put in on it is actually improving it. It's not just, I'm not just doing it to do it sort of thing.
Do you feel that once the games is over, there's going to be more goals for you, or is it straight away, right, it's going to be the games excellence, or you got anything else that you want to try and achieve, rogue, if Dubai came back, or anything, how do you plan out your season?
I'm already going to Phoenix Games with Jack and Elliot, so
nice, okay.
I'm already locked in on that. I'm like super excited to go away with them to Qatar, but in terms of like...
When's that? Is that September, is it?
I got no clue. I haven't even... I know I'm excited for it. I don't know when it is, though. I'm like...
Because I know Rogue is 23rd till the 25th of October.
Yeah. So that'll be something I'd be keen to do. I'll be doing the online qualifier again. Trying my best. I only missed out by one spot last year. So, I'm not... Like, for me, I didn't expect to be that high on the leaderboard. I'm like, damn, I could actually make it into Rogue here.
How when you do all these online comps, how often do you repeat? Do you feel that you leave enough in chance to repeat a lot, or are you pretty much like a one and done?
It depends. Like, the opening quarters, like, it's not as hard obviously to qualify for the next stage. So you're just like, sweet, I'm just going to smash this out once, give it my best effort, and then go from there. Things like Rogue, where it's a little bit more competitive to qualify.
Yeah.
If I feel like I need to, I'll repeat, but I'm not going into the workout thinking, oh yeah, I can just repeat it anyway.
Yeah.
The intention is pretty much always one and done. Then I'll look back at all the workouts, right, I blew this one up here, I can probably make a good amount of time up, so it's worth redoing. Whereas if I'm not going to change my strategy or change something, it's like, what's the point in redoing? I'm not just going to go faster to go faster, you know? Like, I tried my best the first time. Unless I think, oh, if I change my strategy here or break this here, I can get a huge improvement, then I don't see the point in doing redos. You end up just frustrating yourself. So, yeah, it just depends on the workout.
And obviously now, you qualified for your first games appearance as an individual.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Do you see yourself still trying to compete at the games, or is there a limit on what you want to achieve within the sport?
Well, I mean, I'm going to keep doing it, obviously. Like, I'm enjoying it now. I'm still young. Hopefully, I'm podium contender at the games every year. That would be the goal, obviously, is just to compete and be at the highest position possible. That's
Well, mate,
there's not a lot of thought going into it. It's
no,
just
that's fair. But your improvement, has been. I don't want to say massive, because it's not that you were terrible and now you're really good. Cause, I mean, I look at, obviously, from Dubai as well. Obviously, you weren't on the podium at Dubai.
No.
But now all of a sudden you're going to the games, and
are
there ever times when you're at these kind of events and you think, I should have done better here, or am I actually going to make it, or and obviously then injuries come as well. Like, I mean, really, if you thought at the start of the year with your shoulder, you must be. Laughing now, thinking, I've actually made it to the games, and I didn't have the start of the year that I wanted.
I mean, there's obviously a lot of up and downs. I think injuries more so than anything, because you don't know how long they're going to take to recover. So, like, I get quite upset when I get like injured and stuff. Like, maybe I let that get to me more than what it should. Whereas I feel like I do a good job of, like, if I don't place well at a comp, I don't really let it get to me that much. And maybe it's delusion, maybe it's whatever. I'm just like, I'm just messed up here. If I don't mess up here, suddenly I'm 5 spots higher. And like I can pinpoint mistakes or pinpoint things I need to work on. So I'm like, in my head, I like look at a comment, I'm like, man, I just really sucked at the 1K run. I'm just going to get better at running. And now suddenly I'm 5 spots high, It's like, in my head, it's so simple. Like the work's not simple, but it's, you don't have to be a genius to figure out where did I place terribly. If I improve here, my overall placing goes up. Like, it's not rocket science. So it's pretty easy to kind of just talk yourself into, believing that you'll just be better next year. I'll just work on the stuff I need to, and then,
What's the training regime at the moment? How many hours a day were you looking at?
It depends, obviously, what I'm doing. I'm doing a little bit of a building phase at the moment. Normally, I want to say roughly 5 hours a day, and then some recovery on top of that. It depends how much I mess around in the gym too. Like, if all the boys are in there, or like how long am I going to have coffee with Harrison beforehand. It's just things like that just add up in the gym. But I'd say, like, training time, I'm looking at about 5 hours.
And you were saying when we had dinner on the last night after you had qualified, you copied my order, big tomahawk. Big tomahawk.
Yeah,
steak.
I wanted to be like you. I was like, actually, we all did we not? I feel like Jack was the same.
Yeah, the same. You literally both went, I love what he.
I just want that.
What was I going to say? When God, I've gone blank. What was I going to say?
Something I said at dinner.
Yes, that's it. You said at dinner that you've essentially got your girlfriend to thank a lot for helping you prep with. And you said you wanted to buy her a phone or something, was it?
She already bought the phone. She messaged me. I was like, no, because like she's been helping out so much with like cooking, and like she was offering to take my classes at one stage, and I'm like, Anastasia, I can do it. I'm like, please let me help. She's just been a massive help. So I was like, you know what? She's got this ancient phone. I was like, I'm gonna get her a phone and just surprise her. She messages me like a week after I'm away and goes, oh yeah, I just got this new phone, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God.
Is she going to travel with you to the US or?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nice. I believe she needs to get a visa, but once she gets her visa, yes, she'll be coming to the game.
Is your visa all sorted? Or?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, I sorted that ages ago. I mean, my mum was on to me about that. Because they've all got tickets and everything. She's like, hey, we're sorting our visas. Make sure you do yours. So I was like, sweet, I'll just do it. Yeah. So I did that like probably start of the year.
That's sometimes like the scary thing, isn't it? Like you could be rejected, because plenty of athletes have been rejected before that have qualified and couldn't go. So it's nice to know that's all sorted.
Roman with his Russian passport.
Yeah, and also
that's Anastasia, same boat, Russian passport.
Oh, she's Russian, is she? Oh,
yeah. So that's why I'm like, please,
we'll keep the fingers crossed.
Yeah, I just want it to go well.
How did you meet her then?
She was studying in New Zealand,
Nice.
so I met her at a CrossFit comp. I always tell the story. I say I went to this CrossFit comp, I won the comp, and like her gym was running the comp, so they said I got to pick a girl to take home. So Anastasia it was, and I haven't looked back since.
There we go. And then she's helping you with your cooking and your
I couldn't have made a better pick.
There you go. Love it. Well, mate, honestly, like I say again, thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course.
I honestly can't wait to watch you compete. See what what happens for you. I'd love to be there, commentating, but I know that there's a pecking order when it comes to
I was going to say there's a line.
I've done a fair few, but I know that they don't often pick an English guy to commentate. But obviously, I look forward to commentating in the future at some of your events, and I can't wish you more luck. My last question for you before I go is just the sort of, you're going to have people looking up to you now. I'm not too sure if you've been signing all your first autographs.
Only Jack and Harry.
But like, if you was to, obviously, you've obviously looked up at me, you looked up at Michael, and obviously you've seen other people at the games. Like, you are going to be a representation to some people at the games, whether they're youngsters in New Zealand or here in the UAE. How, when all's said and done, and obviously your career was just getting started, but how do you want to be remembered?
I mean, like I'm just starting my career, but at the moment I think like remembered just for always working hard. Like, I was never like the best athlete. I never, I didn't just pick things up instantly. Actually, my brothers are like that. My brothers pick things up, they're just instantly good at everything. I was never like that. I always like struggled at first, and like I was never the best on the rugby team, and I like, worked really hard at that, and just I guess self-belief, like even though I'm not great now, like self-belief that you can kind of get to where you want to be. I think being remembered just for working hard and like believing in myself, regardless of whether I have like special talent or I'm just a natural or whatever, because it's just not the case. And I think like hard work's kind of taken me to where I want to be, taking risks, believing in the people around me and just things like that. I think hard work kind of overall is the main thing.
Nice. Well, mate, again, thank you for joining me. Appreciate your time.
Thanks,
can't wait to see you compete, and all the best in San Jose, California later this summer at the Games.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that.
No worries. Massive congratulations to Ben for qualifying for the CrossFit Games later on this year. We certainly can't wait to see you in action and performing on the biggest stage there is. Also, an even bigger thank you for you taking the time out of your busy training schedule to come and speak on the podcast. Hopefully, you'll get a few more fans watching your journey. I'll be back with another episode soon, so keep your eyes peeled for who that could be.